Dear brothers, I am Adama. Today I'm going to talk about Chapter 9 of the Book 1 of Telos, about animals. Father or Mother God, in His infinite wisdom, created several beings in the universe. And why so many beings, why so much difference? Let's say that each environment, each orb, must have the appropriate beings for that energy, for that degree of evolution, for that journey. Yes, each orb also has its history of evolution and its journey. Nothing is created in vain, nothing is created without purpose. Even a microorganism that you don't see has its function. Everything in the universe has a function. Nothing is or was created for mere pleasure, not on the part of God the Father or Mother. Everything He creates has a purpose, has a reason, and the ultimate goal is always balance. Each being has its own way of living, its own way of reproducing. Some crawl, some fly, some walk, some you don't see, but they are everywhere. And within an environment that is completely in balance, nothing develops irregularly or in a way that affects another species. Everything has balance. The gestation time of animals, the reproduction time, everything has balance, but not the balance you know today. How did you come to view animals on your planet? They are different, some strong, others weak, and the strongest have always been harassed, mistreated, abused in their strength to serve man. Why? Because it's an animal. There's no reason for it to exist. Then we can do with it whatever we want. What good does it bring to the planet? What good does it bring to me? So I can do with it whatever I want. So you look at animals as beings that can serve you in any way you want. But as I said at the beginning, nothing is created by Father or Mother God to be inferior or to be superior. Each being has its own path of evolution, has its property of evolution. The animals chose to come to earth out of the love imputed to them, but the animals were also manipulated, because if that were not the case, there would be no fear, there would be no hunting, there would be no killing, there would be no exploitation, because the animals wouldn't bother you, you wouldn't even know they existed. Then they were changed to attack each other, and with that the imbalance began on the planet as well. And all sorts of atrocities and evils are committed against these beings, loved as deeply by God the Father or Mother as any thinking or conscious being. But I'll make a reservation, many people think that animals don't have consciousness. They may not be conscious like us humans, but they are aware of their function, they are aware of what to do to feed themselves, what to do to survive, what to do to reproduce. If they didn't have consciousness, they would be robots that would need someone to tell them what to do. Every little bird that is born, after a brief period of teaching, is already flying, because it is aware that it is part of its nature to fly. So I ask you, what do you expect from animals? How do each of you look at an animal? Angry, afraid, indifference? How do you guys look? Of course, not everyone, but you imprison your animals, you put chains, cages, and how does the animal feel? Happy? Would you like to be locked up? Neither does he. But you still have this habit. And many with that idea that, but if I release him he will die in the wild. It's better to die free than in a cage. Don't forget that each animal has its own instinct. He may have difficulties at first, but his consciousness will gradually return and he will return to being the free animal he always should have been. Do not use tricks to keep your animals trapped, caged, with chains. If your animal is ferocious, you made it that way, you created it for that, and in exchange for what? To kill another brother, to supposedly protect you and your home, at the cost of another's life? Or do you put all your fury, all your anger, on the animal so that it acts as if it were you and you are not to blame for anything? You attack animals to make money, to sell the fat, to sell the external parts, fins, horns, everything for you is business, it's money, no matter the suffering caused to the animals. Many are practically extinct and many have already been extinct from your planet, but they will return, no longer to this dimension, but to a dimension in which you respect them, because you will also be respected because there will not be the manipulation that was done to them so that attack humans. But even those animals that do not have the capacity to attack you, you mistreat them, you catch them while they are small, they grow up, you throw them away, leave them lying around, causing suffering to the animal and bringing one more onto the street. What love is that? An animal is not a toy, an animal is not something you have and when you get bored you throw it away. An animal is a being that is a child of Father or Mother God, respected as such. He is not an animal, as many of you put it. Ah, he's an animal who doesn't suffer. I'm not going to talk here about the absurdity of your creations, the genetic changes made to your animals for constant procreation. I believe this is already being put out there a lot, and awareness will have to come from each one of you, because every time you eat a piece of that meat, remember you are feeding this industry. Ah, but it's just a little bit. It really is just a little piece, but you eat a little piece, but that little piece that you are eating cost an animal its life, and how did it die? Pleasantly, peacefully, did he give himself up to die or was he slaughtered in the cruelest way possible? How many will still need to die to feed you? Think about every time you put meat in your mouth, and I mean meat of any kind. There is an animal suffering and you are contributing to it. There will be a time when you will no longer have anything to eat alive, not animals. How will you do it? They will go hungry, they will die of starvation, or they will learn to eat what comes from the earth, they will learn to eat what is healthy for their bodies. Think hard. Animals were not meant to be eaten. You do it because you are the top of the chain, so you understand. But this will end very soon. Those who are ready won't feel it, now those who aren't will be very complicated, but this will be a necessary time of evolution for everyone on the planet. And I tell you that it will be a very difficult time, very difficult, because the vast majority will not accept it, and why? Because you can't see anything we say. They think like this, it's already dead, so I can eat it. Yeah, that's an interesting way of thinking. Just don't forget that the meat you are eating contains the animal's energy, from its death, and you are putting a little more of it inside you every day, and I guarantee you that this will not bring you good results.